This is ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn reporting live from the Republican National Convention in Cleveland, where in just moments from now, Donald Trump will officially be the nominee of the Republican Party. The roll call vote is taking place as we speak. Just a few minutes ago, Florida delegates cast their votes for Donald Trump. The Republican Party desperately wants today to go better than it did yesterday. If you remember, the Never Trump movement caused some chaos on the convention floor, and then there was the issue of Melania Trump's speech to convention delegates, which appears in part to be lifted from an address that Michelle Obama gave 8 years ago to the Democratic National Convention. What are we to make of all of this? We asked Adam Putnam, who is Florida's agricultural commissioner and who many believe might be a candidate for governor in the next few years.
Well, I think that you are seeing a unification process. It was a difficult primary, a bloody primary, 17-way primary. But Donald Trump won fair and square, and I think that the vast majority of delegates on that floor recognize that and are energized going into the fall campaign to support his campaign over Hillary Clinton's.
And of course, we will be back with our roundtable in just a few minutes from now. But until then, Haley and Bob have news and weather back in the studio.
Thank you, Alan. Joining us now, we are in Sarasota. We want to welcome everyone to ABC 7 News at 7. Of course, Alan is live in Cleveland all week through Thursday for the Republican National Convention. We'll have special coverage of both the Republican and Democratic National Conventions. Alan Cohn and Ray Collins, they will have all the updates in our shows as well as bonus content on our social media pages. The Democratic National Convention kicks off next week. I will be in Philadelphia with Alan and reporter Adam Cellini, bringing you all the latest developments from there. Ahead of the Democratic National Convention, Hillary Clinton is coming to Florida. According to her campaign, the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee will stop in Orlando and Tampa on Friday, holding a rally at the Florida State Fairgrounds. On Saturday, she's expected to visit South Florida. No details on where she will be or the nature of that visit. Here on the Suncoast, for the second time this month, the courts are ruling in favor of the city of Sarasota in a lawsuit brought by the ACLU. Michael Barfield, vice president of the Florida American Civil Liberties Union, sued the city after being denied access to public records related to the Stingray device. The technology is used by the U.S. Marshals Service to track cell phones. Barfield alleges Sarasota police were using Stingray devices in their own investigations. A judge is dismissing the suit, calling it unconvincing and without proof. Here on the Suncoast, Manatee County is exploring ways to convert its old jail building into workforce housing. The 6-story jail has been vacant for a decade now. County officials are hoping to attract someone to lease the property for commercial use. Right now, the building remains connected to the new Judicial Center, and a separate entrance would need to be built to convert it into housing.
That was one of the uses they thought would be beneficial to revitalize the downtown area.
One of those key factors has been housing. And that's something that we have been working on over the last 2 years, starting to talk about thinking outside the box.
The site is located next to a city bus hub and is within 3 miles of the county's 9 largest employers. Manatee County's first responders are collaborating today, focusing their efforts in the fight against heroin. The area is once again seeing a spike in heroin-related overdoses. Officials say users are now cutting their drug with stronger types of medication, and they have to react accordingly.
Everything that we're doing, we have to alter what we do to kind of correct the things that they're doing illegally.
There's been instances where we've gone to the same house 3 times in a day for an overdose. That's frustrating, but I like to see these folks get the help that they need.
Since June 1st, there have been 17 reported overdoses in Manatee County. 3 of them were fatal. As law enforcement remain on high alert across the country, Northport's police department is working to improve relationships with the community. Northport police leaders are back from a trip to the nation's capital, where they worked with President Obama's 21st Century Policing Task Force. In recent years, Northport PD began utilizing social media to encourage communication with law enforcement officers. But the chief says they still have work to do.
I think communities just need to sit down and talk. And if there's issues, we need to listen, and we need to figure out what is the problem and try and fix it together.
The president's police task force was created last year to help improve relations between law enforcement and the community. In Venice, a propane gas leak forced officials to close the South Jetty for several hours today. Around 50 people were evacuated from Anita's Sandcastle snack bar. Firefighters were able to contain the leak later in the afternoon. This area is now open. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission wants input from the public on how to preserve critical wildlife areas here on the Suncoast. A meeting about the Myakka River in Northport is just wrapping up, but you can still attend 2 other meetings this week. Tomorrow, FWC will be discussing the Roberts Bay Islands located on the inlet of the northeast side of Siesta Key. That will take place at the Celery Field starting at 6:30 p.m. Another workshop on the Dot-Dit Islands, which are the intersection of the Braden and Manatee Rivers. That meeting will be at the Manatee County Library. It also starts at 6:30. A homeless man is facing life in prison for the murder of his landlord 13 years ago. John Melquist was convicted of second-degree murder today. Throughout his trial, Melquist represented himself. He still claims he is innocent, despite physical evidence linking him to the crime. The body of the victim, Annalise Schweikert, was never found. Sentencing is scheduled for August 29th. New developments tonight on Sarasota County's rewording of the comprehensive plan. Now, resident Mike Constantino is filing his own charter amendment to prevent the rewording from taking effect. Small changes, such as removing the word all from the directive, which states the county should identify, manage, and protect all ecological communities and native habitats, lead some to believe that more power would be given to developers.
The second charter petition that we filed is to give the voters a chance to put into the county charter the language that was gutted when the comprehensive plan was changed.
The county is awaiting confirmation from the state on the proposed changes. Constantino is also filing a lawsuit against the commission. Sarasota City Commissioners are now exploring options about what to do with the old Gee Whiz site. The building has sat empty on Sarasota's bayfront for 3 years now. Commissioners are tasking their staff to explore the costs of removing asbestos and demolishing the structure. The city spends $44,000 annually to maintain this location. No word on when the building could be torn down. And for an update on our forecast, we'll head over to Bob. Quite a rainy and stormy day in a lot of areas today, Bob.
That's right, especially this afternoon, right around 3 o'clock. This is the Lakewood Ranch webcam you'll see here. At 2 o'clock, you can see the storms building off there in the background. And then by 3, the rains start to move in, and they were heavy at times across parts of the Suncoast. Not everyone got the rain, as is the case during the summer months. Sometimes your neighbor gets it and you don't, and you can see the clearing skies behind it. We're starting to see some of that sky clear out behind the system now. And 95 the high today, 1 degree shy of the record 96 set back in 1976, and that was our low this morning, 76. It's nice now, 79. The sun's starting to pop out, some high, thin cirrus clouds still left behind from some of the storms that were here. East and northeast winds are at 7 miles an hour. You can see the general flow again, east to west, and the storms were heavy at times. Right around 3 o'clock, right near the coast, and then pushing off to the west, and then heavier weather as well into Highlands County right around 3:30 this afternoon. One lone shower now down south of Charlotte Harbor. Rainfall estimates, you'll notice Parrish didn't get much. Also Palmetto and Braden, just a little bit of rainfall there. Northport staying relatively dry, as well as Punta Gorda and Port Charlotte. But right near Fruitville and I-75 near the Meadows, up to 2 inches of rain fell, and that's just east of I-75 in between University and Fruitville, and the Meadows getting about 1 inch of rainfall. And then places to the east thereof in Highlands County near Sebring, up to 3 inches of rain in just a short period of time. We have a little bit more moisture coming back into play tomorrow too, so the storms that do develop will be some heavy rainmakers, I do believe, tomorrow afternoon, similar to what we've seen over the past couple of days, with the storms developing right around 3, 4 o'clock, and then pushing off toward the west rather quickly in time. Here's a look now at the beach and boating forecast. Winds will be out of the east and then turn to the north at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be 1 to 2 feet with a light chop, and the winds and seas will be a little bit higher near the individual storms developing in the afternoon. A 90-degree high expected near the area beaches, mid-90s inland. The water temperature right around 87 degrees right now at the north end of, or at least the west end of the Venice Pier. Morning sunshine turns to afternoon storms, a 92 for your high, and then the extended forecast is calling for A pretty good chance for showers and storms running in through the next 7 days. Now, I think we'll get a better chance to see some more widespread action as we head into Thursday. That continues into the weekend with that sea breeze starting to develop and move a little bit farther inland on through those days. High temperatures close to seasonal averages and low temperatures into the mid-70s right through Tuesday of next week. Haley?
Thank you, Bob. Still to come, ABC 7 at 7 is in Cleveland all week for the Republican National Convention. We'll hear what our local delegates are saying after the first day. Alan has our roundtable discussion when we come back.
Need new windows? Buy direct from the factory. New South Window is having a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Buy 4 windows, save 25%. Buy 6 windows, save 30%. Buy 8 or more windows and save 35%. How? Because New South owns the factory and you cut out the middleman. Award-winning, energy-efficient windows and doors installed with a lifetime warranty. New South Windows are made in Florida for Florida homes by Florida workers. Visit newsouthwindow.com or call now.
Until recently, getting older meant losing your energy, memory, sex drive, even gaining weight, but it doesn't have to.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jenny Wilkins, owner of Age Vital Pharmacy Research and Wellness. Reversing or slowing the effects of aging can be as simple as supplementing vitamins, minerals, and hormones that your body needs in order to look and feel young again. At Age Vital, we do this without taking harmful prescription drugs that often have a longer list of side effects than benefits. Growing older doesn't mean you have to feel older. Age well, Age Vital.
Attention! This is an important message for anyone who had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to their heart or lungs. Did your IVC filter move, break, or cause organ damage? The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, even death. If you or a loved one suffered serious complications, call IVC Filter Helpline now. You may be entitled to compensation. IVC filters are designed to prevent blood clots. If your IVC filter moved or broke and you suffered heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, or if a loved one died as a result, call IVC Filter Helpline today. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You'll pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone. Call IVC Filter Helpline now.
Please call 800-897-6764. That is 800-897-6764.
Are you considering joint replacement or revision surgery? Consider this. Dr. Edward Stolarski has performed thousands of successful joint replacement procedures and trained surgeons from all over the world. Using advanced technologies, Dr. Stolarski is able to perform some of the most complex surgeries.
I wish I knew about Dr. Stolarski much sooner.
After the surgery, I don't have any pain. It's like I've got a 16-year-old hip.
My name's Ed Stolarski. What I really do is I give people back their life.
Schedule a consultation today.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
Welcome back, everyone. And joining us for our roundtable tonight is Joe Gruters, the chairman of Donald Trump's Florida campaign, and Christian Ziegler, state committee man from Sarasota. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Boy, if the rest of the convention is as boring as it was yesterday, it started with the defeat of the Never Trump movement, but that defeat caused what has been described as chaos in that convention hall. What did you guys think when you had some very angry people there, like Senator Lee and other people who were taking off their credentials and throwing them to the ground?
Well, you're always going to have spirited debates within a caucus, essentially, and we have 2,800 delegates here, and so of course not everyone's going to agree with Trump. You know, he beat 16 other tough competitors, but at the end of the day, everything was worked out. We were all coming together, and this week is what we're going to do is we're going to show our unity. We're going to come together. This minor disturbance yesterday has nothing to do with the overall agenda, but listen, people have their own agendas. You know, you never know what people are doing for what reason, but at the end of the day, it was a very small portion of the population, and a lot of the no's were coming from sections that were not real voting members. That's the one thing you can't distinguish between the actual delegates. Like, for example, in our delegation in Florida, we had 100% unified response in what we were doing. So I think this was a very small group. I think that they were very vocal, and I think that they had agendas that were self-serving in nature.
But they were very high profile. I mean, you have a United States Senator, a former Attorney General of Virginia, who feel
all
like
with their own agendas, though. Listen, you got to look at what their own agendas are. What base, what segment of the population are those guys going for? They're a very super conservative group that were backing other candidates in the primary. So it's not. To me, it's. I expected that yesterday, but I also expected us to just really steamroll over them and have everybody at the end of the day come together. Because last night, what we showed is with all those speakers, Congressman Duffy, Melania Trump, the cast of the other speakers, it was a great night for Trump. It was a great night for Republicans, and it certainly kicked the week off.
Well, let's talk about Melania Trump, because on one hand, it really was an impressive speech, heartfelt, and then as soon as we all left the convention hall, we started hearing reports about, it was awfully similar to the same speech that Mrs. Obama gave 8 years ago. Christian, when did you first hear that, and what are your thoughts?
People are reporting on it, but when you look at it, she had a 20-minute speech. They're looking at one paragraph. Who knows what the details are? It's still early, obviously, but it's interesting because when you look at the media and they start talking about this, they focus in on that, whereas Hillary Clinton here, she lies to the American public constantly, and that really was one of the themes last night, is when you look at Hillary Clinton and all her feedback and all the lies that she's had to the American people, that should be the real focus, not a paragraph and a 20-minute speech.
Right, but if one campaign is saying that you'll get the truth from us, and look, it is a potential first lady, this is not going to make or break the election, but it goes down to a storyline that it appears that it's awfully similar to Michelle Obama's speech.
Yeah, but when you look at it and you read it, it's not word for word or anything like that. It's very similar in some of the topics and some of the themes. But again, it's a paragraph and a 20-minute speech. And obviously the media wants to pull that out, take it out of context, and just focus on that portion. But I think that what we need to look at is what the message really was. And here we had a Secretary of State, and we had individuals from Benghazi and parents from Benghazi that lost their children. You have Hillary Clinton, who, while she was Secretary of State, you look at Benghazi, not just Benghazi, but our relationship with Israel, our relationship with Russia. You look at the Middle East, the horrible Iran deal. You look at our relationship with Israel. It's complete failure on her part. She has zero record as Secretary of State, and that's what we talked about last night in her failure. So that was a theme, and that's really what we should be talking about today.
You guys are great at messaging and knowing what the storylines are. Has the storylines that raise this question, are they out of the way, and are you looking forward and hoping that the rest of the week that everybody is on the same page?
Yeah, there's no question. And today's theme is putting America back to work again. And I think Donald Trump's message, listen, even in Florida alone, he's created tens of thousands of jobs, probably spent tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in projects in Florida. The guy knows how to put people to work. It's a business leader, just like our Governor Rick Scott. He has the experience to do it. I think he's going to go to D.C. And now whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, young or old, if you want to do better for your family and you want to see real economic growth, and Donald Trump is the one with the vision, the experience to do it, the years of the private sector, and I think that it's going to be a great week. And yes, I don't think there's going to be anything negative moving forward in terms of internal squabbles within the party.
Are you hoping that party leaders like the governor of Ohio, John Kasich, who is here in Cleveland but not at the convention, Speaker Ryan, who is the chairman of the convention, hasn't even been to the convention yet, are you hoping that they show up?
Would love to have him here, but if they don't come, that's fine. I mean, when you look at Donald Trump, he won because he went against politics as usual. These individuals, they have their own agenda, they have their own, calculated futures and all that. Donald Trump's here with the people. That's how he won. Those are the people that are excited. He's with the grassroots. And really, for me, if I can have an elected leader of the grassroots excited, I would rather have the grassroots excited. And that's what we're seeing here.
And you got to remember, this whole convention is about the future. And if they don't want to be part of the narrative and be part of the future within the party, it's their choice. But at the end of the day, look at all the incredible speakers that we have. Just look at today, Senator Tom Cotton from Arkansas, Dr. Ben Carson, Colonel Allen West. Look at all the speakers last night, the speakers tonight. We have a star-studded, packed agenda every night, every morning. There's going to be more speakers than we could actually deal with.
But let me ask you this, because it's the goal of either party, when they have their convention, to leave the city that they had their convention in united. It seems right now it's not quite that.
There's no question we're going to be united. And like I said, all these internal party squabbles, that's part of every convention. If you remember, just 4 years ago with Romney's convention, they had the same thing. As a matter of fact, they had 3 or 4 states walk out at the beginning of Romney's convention because of the Ron Paul controversy. Yesterday, there was 2 or 3 people that walked out unhappy out of all the thousands of delegates. Listen, we're united in our effort to win. It's all about keeping America safe and putting Americans back to work. And that's what this election is all about. It's about making sure your family is in the best possible position to keep yourself safe and to get a job.
And when you look at McCain, you look at Romney, now you got Trump. I mean, the difference here during this cycle is the people in the grassroots are excited to work for Trump. They're excited to knock on doors. They're excited to make the phone calls. And it's really great, at least on the Republican side. Can't say the same for the Democrat side because I know there's a lot of people upset with Bernie Sanders and how they treated him. At least on the Republican side, you have the people, their voice was heard. Their candidate won, and now they're going to go to work for him. And we're going to have a very exciting momentum from right after the convention through the November election. So I think we're going to win big.
And we'll have to leave it there, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us, and we will be back in just a moment.
You know what scares me? No electricity. Yeah, when this magical box suddenly stops working, I call the pros at Mr. Sparky and they send a superhero to save the day. How's it going, Pablo?
It's going great, Mike.
Pablo possesses amazing skill. He can perform incredible feats at blinding speed. Superhero.
Couldn't have done it without you.
Modest, too.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Just to be clear, I don't live here.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WinGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WinGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Batteries Plus bulbs keep stacks of batteries for cars, cell phones, watches, plus light bulbs for lamps, can lights, and appliances right on hand. Did I mention we also repair smartphones? Batteries Plus bulbs. Trust the plus. Visit Batteries Plus bulbs today.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Just because someone grows older, does that mean they have to grow apart from their friends or from the things they love to do? With Right at Home, it doesn't. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to help with personal care, housekeeping, meals, and most of all, staying engaged in life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you ready to go?
Oh, I sure am.
We can provide the right care right at home.
Day 2 of the Republican National Convention is here. Speakers tonight include House Speaker Paul Ryan, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Trump's son, and many others. But people are still talking about Melania Trump's speech from last night. Analysts point out that several of the lines she used seem to be directly plagiarized from Michelle Obama's speech at the Democratic National Convention in 2008. Here's what you had to say. Brandy Sutherland writes, "Stop making this an issue. It is the least of our issues. All of these people just regurgitate the same old drool over and over again. Of course, it sounds the same." Tracy Hansen writes, "Put the blame where it belongs, on the lazy speechwriter, not the speaker. She was reading from a text. Anyone who thinks anything spoken is original is nuts. Let it go already." Mike Hood writes, "I don't even think that it's a big deal, but the Trump campaign denying it and pretending it isn't obvious makes it a big deal." And Diane Highbuyer Johnston writes, "I find it refreshing that Michelle Obama inspired her so much." We will be keeping up with the latest on the convention here at ABC7. Let us know what you're thinking by visiting our Facebook page and also following us on Twitter as well. That's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Haley Wilgus. Thank you for joining us. Our RNC coverage from Cleveland continues tomorrow night, but in the meantime, we'll see you tonight at 11.